Today, we'll be talking about how we went from this to this in our 3-year-old Minecraft world, in 100% survival, and in a Superflat world. I'm Peacock Plays, this is my Superflat survival world tour, and let's get into it. So when we started this journey 3 years ago, we started in bedrock, which means we had no access to lava, stone, either of the other two dimensions, or even any structures. This meant that we could only utilize wood and resources we could get from wandering traders or villagers. But wait, how do you get villagers in a world with no structures? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it was a long and difficult process that took up the first few months of time in this world. First, you have to build a mob farm without any water to get iron from killing thousands of zombies, only to get a few ingots so that you can craft a bucket and a cauldron and collect rainwater twice. Only then can you make an infinite water source. Water, check. Then you use that water to turn zombies into drowns, so you can kill 1,000 more of those guys and get a few pieces of copper. Copper, check. After you get copper, you can use that copper to craft lightning rods and farm pigs so you can have them be struck by lightning in very rare thunderstorms, creating zombie piglins. Kill 1,000,000 zombie piglins. Gold, check. Now that we have gold from our piglins, we can use that to craft golden apples. As long as we spawned in with either an oak or dark oak sapling in our bonus chest, we'll be good. Golden apples, check. Finally, we need to trap 2 zombie villagers and a witch, and coax the witch into splashing the zombie villagers with weakness, in which case we can feed them our golden apples, kill the witch, and wait for them to turn into villagers. Villagers acquired. But then, once you have plentiful villagers and every type of wood you can get from the wandering trader, you run out of objectives and it gets kinda boring without any structures or the ability to beat the game. And so you switch to Java, beat the game, and continue building like any other survival world. So now that you understand where we started, let me show you what we've been up to the last few months and get you all caught up on our journey. Alrighty, so this is our current base. And full disclosure, everything I just showed you guys about how we got this far in Bedrock and then switching to Java and then coming over to this new base and starting YouTube, that was all just kind of a reenactment of the steps I had to go through to survive on Bedrock for the first, year of this world. But that wasn't me actually going through the process. That was me recreating it because I wasn't recording and documenting when I first started this world. So I just recently started YouTube. And in our last video, I had the pleasure of being able to thank you guys for 50 subscribers. And now we're at 60. So I just want to take a second and thank you guys again so much for your support. It really means so much to me, and if you want to follow along on our journey through this Superflat Let's Play, don't be afraid to subscribe. It'll let you keep track of what we're doing in this world. And if I could also ask you to just take half a second and drop a like on this video, it would really be so helpful, and it would let YouTube know that people enjoy what we're doing here. My ultimate goal is to get monetized, so hopefully someday I can do this full time and bring you guys videos more often than I'm able to now. So if you feel like helping out with that and interacting with this video in any way, please do. And if not, no worries. But now let's take a look at our base and what we've been up to recently. Okay, so first we're gonna just take a look at the base as a whole and what the idea is behind it. So we decided to make home in this location because before we started building, there was actually a stronghold here, and that's why we were able to center our base around this end portal. So after we dismantled the stronghold, we outlined a circle all the way around where we wanted our base to cover and dug it out down to bedrock. Next, we spent hours upon hours at a stone generator to get all the stone and cobblestone we needed to build up this massive pillar. Then we grabbed a bunch of grass and filled in the top, and originally it was all flat, but then I came to my senses and made it slope down gradually towards the middle. And it was a little while later, after I had more access to resources, that I came back and added this overhang with the moss and the vines. But after that, we had a solid foundation and we could get on with building. The first thing we started working on was the hub to our base, complete with our storage system, and useful little nooks under all 4 staircases, including our portal room with a goal board that we never use. After that, we built off of the hub this functional hallway, complete with sugarcane farms on either side of it that'll give us more sugarcane than we'll ever need. And at the end of this hall, we have our original mob farm design. And then if you go down this staircase, you can get to where the mobs end up landing. And this farm's complete with the mob sorter. After our mob farm, the first thing we built on the surface was our bee farm. And I love the way this building looks. And just like a lot of our other functional builds, we have the mechanical farm hidden away under the surface. You can see our bees there, and we're maxed out on honey. The next thing we started working on was our main house build, because I knew it was time to start populating the surface of this base, and this build style is influenced by Dallas Med. I wanted to build 4 of these gatehouses all around the center of the base, but I had to come up with something else because I couldn't bring myself to destroy the bee farm. And so I came up with this solution. We built a garden above it on stilts, and I personally really like how this came out, and I incorporated a bunch of trophies into the legs of it, and right now it's still empty, but once we get the rest of the build connected, we can start filling the space. Next, we built our moss farm in this room here, and it really comes in handy because we use a lot of moss to build this house, this base. We use a lot of moss. And if you go up these stairs, you can come out to a patio area or keep going up, and you can go down this hallway, and it's all pretty empty right now. We'll do interiors later, but this goes all the way down to our library. And I don't know why there's iron golems in here. But speaking of iron golems, this is our iron farm. And again, we have a beautiful build on the surface with the farm below. And you can see how the golems come up through the build and flow over the water wheel into the lava chamber. We have a nice little collection room down here with a nice view of the farm. And there he goes. Next is our villager trading hall, and I'm super proud of how this came out. This might be the build that I'm most happy with in this world so far. And we have every kind of villager you could ever want. I think we actually have every villager, or every type of villager, and we do a lot of trading. We have so many emeralds, and we have every color of terracotta you could get from masons, and a nice little market here in the center. And if you go over here, you can see this zombie where we push that button and it sends them out on a track behind the scenes here, where I can choose if I want them to go to the bottom level or the top level. And yeah, I really like this. We have really cheap trades because of that. We also have our stone generator here, and that's where we get all our stone and cobblestone. But yeah, I really love this part of the base. And next up is our animal farm. A little bit of an original design. I don't think I've ever seen anybody store their farm animals on roofs. But yeah, we have cows, chickens, pigs, and sheep on these living roofs. And eventually we'll have farms underneath to automate the whole process. But yeah, I'm really proud of this build. And I just love the view you get walking between the two buildings in this little corridor to come out and see the rest of our base. Really cool. Alright, so now we're taking a look at the first thing that we built together here on YouTube, and this is our automatic crop farms, and it bridges the gap between our library and this other section of our base, this other building over here. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I think it turned out really good. We have potatoes and carrots being farmed automatically. It bridges the gap nicely, and I think it just looks very beautiful. So now we'll take a look at this mud farm that we built in episode 5, and it's a nice little mud hut for the mud farm. And yeah, it's functional and beautiful, and the way you use it is you grab some dirt and the shovel, and you put the dirt in your offhand, and you stand here and hold place and break at the same time, and you'll just farm some mud. And right next to the mud farm, we have our automatic super smelter. We built this in episode 6, and this is a design by iCraftMC, I believe. And so you can flip that lever and send the mine carts off, and it does its thing. Very cool. And you get your buckets back if that's what you use for fuel. I think together these builds come out nicely, and when we build a bunch of other buildings all the way around the center of the base, it'll be one coherent thing. And most recently in episodes 7, 8, and 9, we built a cactus farm, melon farm, and pumpkin farm in this multi-farm build part of our base. And pumpkins were most recent, so they haven't got a lot yet, but cactuses are doing great. And so are our melons. And that's everything we've done with this base to date, but there's plenty more to come, so stick around to see how it evolves. But before we end the video, let's go take a look at a few things we did away from the base. So we built a trial chambers farm, and I fully believe we are one of, if not the first in the world, to do this and post it on YouTube. I know I've seen other people do it with just 1 or 2 of the spawners, but we automated a whole structure's worth of spawners. So all we have to do is drink our bad omen, fly around to activate the spawners, and sit back and collect our keys, and any other loot that comes in. I do want to improve it by adding a minecart system so we don't have to fly around to activate them, so let me know in the comments if that's something you would like to see. And next up, we have our gold farm. This is Ilmango's design, and it works wonders. We'll always have more gold and rotten flesh than we'll ever need, and we can use that to trade with our villagers and make tons of emeralds. It's also our most effective XP farm that we have in this world. And lastly, we have a raid farm that allows us to get all the totems of undying we'll ever need. And it's also just pretty fun to cheese a raid like this. Well, that's it for our world tour, and I want to thank you so much for sticking around till the end of the video. And since you did make it this far, you obviously liked it. So please just take an extra second and like the video. It would help so much. But I hope you enjoyed getting to see what we've done in this world so far, and I hope you all just have a blessed rest of your day. Bye bye.